The point I really want to make clear to you is that more time spent in the gym is not always going to correlate to more results that you're going to be making. After a certain amount of time in the gym, you got to really reconsider how much are you really getting out of the excessive amount of sets that you're doing per exercise and per workout. What's up everyone? David here. Got a new video for y'all today. But before we get into it, if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification so you don't miss on any new videos. Because remember, new videos on this channel every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday. So don't miss out. Now today, we're gonna be talking about how much is too much, how many exercises you should be doing per muscle group, how many sets per muscle group. All of that is gonna be taken into account. Because one thing that I cannot stand is when people just spend so much time in the gym, set after set, exercise after exercise on the same muscle group, thinking that's what's gonna be getting them more results. I wanna point it out. It's not always about the quantity of time that you're spending in the gym. It's the quality of the time, all right? It doesn't matter how many exercises or how many sets you're doing for any given body part. What matters is how many good quality working sets that you're doing. So for today's video, I'm just gonna be emphasizing the chest, all right? I'm gonna be listing just a lot of chest exercises. That's the example we're gonna be using, but you get the idea of what I'm talking about. You could plug in any other body group. Chest is one of those muscles that I feel many people, they do too much. Especially the guys, they think that chest muscle right here in front is this enormous muscle group that just requires so much stimulus that you need to hammer exercise after exercise after exercise, so many sets, really just grind it down, get as much work as you can per workout to really make it grow. If you really think about it, your chest is not all that big. It may seem like it because it's very visible. It's in the front part of your body. Yeah, if you have a bigger chest, it stands out. If you're standing sideways, it pops out this way. If you're looking at someone straight across, that's one of the first things that they're gonna notice. But realistically, the chest is not that big, all right? It's not like your leg muscle. It's not like your lats, all right? It's not this grand muscle group that requires just an excessive amount of volume. However, many people treat it as such. It's one of those muscle groups where I see just too much is being done. But why is it too much, or what exactly makes it too much? So typically from what I've seen, whether you be looking at any type of bodybuilding magazine, YouTube video, this is typically how the bros would do their chest workout. They'll start off with the bench press. You know, that's the king. Everyone always asks you how much you bench. They do some type of incline press after. I don't care if it's barbell or dumbbell. Then they go over to the cable machines and they do some cable crossover. Then they go on and do some type of machine press, whether it be flat or incline, and then they'll go ahead and hit some dips. And who knows what else they'll be doing in there. Maybe they'll throw in some push-ups. Maybe they'll throw in some dumbbell flies. Bottom line is, they're doing too much. Now, for the sake of this video, we're gonna go ahead and assume that each one of these exercises are being done for 3 sets. I put random rep ranges, but you get the idea. What it really comes down to is we're gonna go down to 3 sets per exercise. Now, that's not really the issue. The issue comes down to how many sets are you doing per workout, and is that too much? Sometimes you are doing the right amount of sets, okay? Good quality working sets. The issue arises when too many of those sets that you're doing are realistically not getting you anything in return. And what are those sets? Those are what you call junk volume, okay? Warm-up sets do not count. Sets where you're not even pushing hard enough. Sets when you're done, you could have done way more. So realistically, you just wasted time. Any type of set that realistically does not push you past your comfort zone is we're gonna label it as a junk volume set. Okay, those don't get you anything. What we really need to prioritize are working sets. What do we call a working set? It's those sets where you really have to push yourself. Those are gonna be the ones that are gonna elicit the stimulus in the muscle. Those are gonna be the ones that are actually gonna give you the growth, the muscle growth that you wanna see. How do we define it? How do you know when you're pushing too much or not enough? By the time you're done with your set, you should be able to do 1, maybe 2 more reps at the very end. If you could do 3 or more reps at the end of any given set, then realistically, did you really push yourself to the point where you needed to see results? Most likely not. Now, on the flip side, do you need to push to failure every set? A lot of people say go to failure, give it your all every single set of every single exercise. That's not always necessarily the case, because what happens when we push to failure? You're a little too fatigued and it's gonna take you longer to recover before you have to hit the next set. And if it takes you longer to recover, you're gonna be wasting time. Some people are on a time crunch. We gotta go to work, we gotta go to school, we got other responsibilities we gotta take care of. We can't always be spending the entire day at the gym. And then alongside with that is if you push too hard on any given set all the way to failure, man, that's just gonna affect you. That's just gonna tire you out before you get to the rest of the exercises. So you just hinder your chances of getting through the rest of whatever it is you had listed on your program. So it just goes to show you, you don't always have to go to failure. Occasionally, yeah, sure, go for it so you understand what it feels like to go to failure. Because how am I gonna tell you, push hard enough to where you feel you can do 1 or 2 more reps left if you never actually push to that point where your body's familiar with what it feels like to do 1 or 2 reps? You won't know that feeling until eventually you go to failure. So occasionally, here and there, yeah, go for it, just so you have a feeling for it, but it's not necessary every single set of every exercise. That covers your working sets. Now, we're gonna go ahead and assume that all 3 of the sets of every exercise we're doing, they're all good working sets. None of them are warm-ups. Each one of them, we're pushing just the right amount of weight, the right amount of reps. We're pushing to the point where we know we can get results out of it. But how many of those working sets can we realistically do in a workout before, it starts being too much? Quality is going to play a big factor in this. Eventually, if you do too much, you're going to be burning yourself out. You're going to be tired. The quality is not there anymore. So here's what we're going to break it out into. The workout itself needs to be calculated just right. Everyone has different exercises that we all know can work for you. Some people prefer some exercises, some people prefer different ones. First thing you gotta figure out is what is it that you're gonna be doing when you step into the gym. Me personally, I hate dips. I don't care if I'm doing it for triceps or chest, I just don't like that exercise, so I don't do it. Machine press, I never do it because I don't have a machine press here at the home gym. So I realistically stick to the first 3. And that's just me personally. I only do 3 exercises for my chest. Bench press, something incline related, and some type of isolation where I'm opening up. Most commonly, cable crossover. 3 sets each. Good working sets. Now, sometimes people overdo it. And by sometimes, I mean many times. But they don't know what the consequences are of it. So how much can you realistically do in one workout? What is too much? How far can we push it? Let me put it to you this way. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 workouts any given day. 3 sets for each. That's 15 sets of chest just in one day. So let's just say we train chest on Monday and we do 15 sets. Okay, by the end of the week, how many total sets did you do for that given muscle group? 15. Is that good? Sure. But here's the thing. Was that too much? What can we do to make sure we don't push it too hard, but we're still not missing out on gains? Because obviously you want to push hard enough, but you don't want to go overboard. There's a correlation between how much volume you're doing and the amount of results you're going to be getting out of it. And that's what we got right here. You see, this is a graph. Hopefully y'all paid attention in school. You know how to read a graph. X-axis, volume. Y-axis, we're just going to label it as results, hypertrophy, gains, however you want to see it. So the first part right here, obviously, the more volume you do, the more results you're going to get. If I already do 1 set of bench press, am I going to get any results? No. But if I do 3 sets, will I be getting more results? Obviously. But how much is too much? It goes back to that essential question. We see good amount of progress the more volume we're doing, the more results we're going to do. But it gets to a certain point eventually where even though we're doing more volume, we're not necessarily getting more results. And there's a lot of things that lead up to this factor. Let's just say right around right here. Boom, 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 boom. However many sets that is, okay? You see, it's still upwards, but anything after this, it starts to flatten out a little. So we're realistically not getting a whole lot of results compared to how we were earlier. I mean, you tell me. This much results, that much results. This many sets, same amount of sets. So why exactly is it that we're doing, let's just say, 5 sets here, 5 sets here, but yet there is a significant amount more of results that we could be getting from the first 5 compared to the last 5. It's not actually 5 sets. If you want to see actual numbers backed by data, go to PubMed, do the research yourself, go read those peer-reviewed articles. You can do that on your own time. This is just for examples. There's so many things that play a factor in what's going to get us results between the volume. Number 1 is obviously the quality of the set. Quality, one of the bigger factors that we talked about earlier. there gets to a point where you can't push as hard. Anyone, I don't care if you're a super athlete, an Olympian, pro level bodybuilder, anyone, there's only so much that you can continuously push before eventually your body just gives out on you. Let's just take bench press, for example. All right, you did your 3 sets. All right, by the time that you're done, you're a little fatigued. Now you're doing your incline. All right, now you're a little bit more fatigued. Cable cross, you're more fatigued. By the time you get to the dips, you mean to tell me you already did 12 good working sets, and you mean to tell me that at the end, you can still push equally as hard? No, you're just fatigued. You're just going off of fumes at that point, and it is backed by research. I don't understand why everyone's always hating on science-based lifters, okay? There is some science, there is some credibility behind these different training protocols. You just gotta actually do the research yourself and apply it. So the science does show that after a certain amount of time, the amount of extra volume you're doing is not gonna produce as much results. Essentially, all you're doing is just wasting time. So you got to really ask yourself, are all of these extra sets really worth the excessive amount of time I'm going to be spending more at the gym and for the very minimal amount of results that I'll be getting? It's not. So 15 sets, is it a bit much? In my opinion, for one given workout, yes. But at the end of the week, what do I personally go for? What does some of the literature out there show? What does some of the research back? 10 to 15 good quality sets of per muscle group per week, go for it. The issue is that with many people is they feel the need, they have to get all of those sets done in one workout. That's not necessarily the case. So what we can do is this excessive amount of gains right here, so many workouts, let's split it up a little bit more evenly across the week. So instead of doing all of these exercises on Monday, all 15 sets, how about we limit it to just these two right here? So let's go 6 sets on Monday. Give yourself a day of rest because you don't want to work the same muscle group back-to-back days. And now we get the remaining 3 exercises, so the remaining 9 sets on Wednesday. And now, what is our total weekly volume? It is still 15 sets. But here's the thing. These 6 sets, you can push real hard, make them good quality working sets, and now you're resting. And let's just assume you recover properly, you eat the right amount of food, drink about the amount of water. Let's assume you're eating the right amount of food, getting your protein intake, drinking the right amount of water, sleeping necessary amounts of sleep that you need each night. Because a lot of you, I know you don't like to prioritize your sleep, but you need it for muscle growth. And then on Wednesday, you go ahead and hit an additional 9 sets. Those 9 sets, you can push a lot harder, lift a lot heavier, have more control, and have more energy to go towards them as a whole compared to if these same 9 sets were done at the very end of this initial day where you did 15. Why? Because now you're more refreshed. You're not completely fatigued from the first 6 sets that you did. Because let's go back to this Monday where we did 15 sets. The first 6 sets might be good, but the last 9, they might have been a little rough because you're already fatigued. No, now we're coming in fresh, doing 6 sets, and now we're coming in fresh, doing another 9. At the end of the week, you're still hitting the same amount of volume. That's what really matters. A lot of people, they prioritize how many exercises they're doing, how many sets they're doing per workout. While there's different effects to how many sets you're doing per exercise, per day, per workout, all that does play a factor. At the end of the week, what really matters is total weekly volume. So where some people, maybe they could only train chest once per week because they're on a time crunch, they got other obligations, whatever it may be. Okay, yeah, fine. You can hit all of your working sets in one day. But for other people that maybe have a little bit more flexibility with their schedule, they can hit the gym a little bit more frequently. Now they can spread across those sets throughout the week. But regardless, at the end of the week, they're still hitting the same amount of sets. Number of sets does not matter as long as total weekly volume is accounted for. The only things that we can and should manipulate is now what are going to be the quality of the sets. Yeah, you got 15 good quality sets, but you got to keep in mind that very last set of dips will probably not be pushed as far, and you probably weren't going to be able to lift as heavy compared to that last set of dips that you would do on this day because you didn't have these previous sets to fatigue you by the time you got to these. If you want to take it a step closer, okay, how about now, again, we still got 12 sets, but we have 5 exercises. number of exercises does not matter. When exercise itself does matter, what machine, what piece of equipment, whatever it may be, what that matters is which part of the muscle or which muscle in general you're gonna be hitting. Bench press, machine press. What is the difference? Are you both not doing movements that look like this? So why not just do all of your sets on one versus all of your sets on the other? Instead of doing 3 sets on bench press and then 3 sets on machine press, why not just do all 6 sets of bench press or all 6 sets of machine press? You see what I'm saying? The exercise itself doesn't matter. What really matters is, are you pushing appropriately to feel the fatigue and elicit the stimulus in that given muscle? So where we're doing 5 exercises here for 15 total sets, I don't know why I keep saying 12, it's 15. How about instead we just go 5 sets on Monday, 5 sets on Wednesday, 5 sets on Friday, and at the end of the week, we're still doing 15 sets, and now we're coming in fresh. You mean to tell me you don't, I mean, let me just ask you this. How hard do you think you can push yourself for 5 good sets with a day of rest in between, compared to how hard can you really push yourself if you were to do all 15 sets in one day? So there you have it, everyone. You got to take it into account. There's only so hard you can push yourself before the quality of your set goes down. You're fatigued, you're tired, you need to refuel. You know, so many factors get placed into effect if you spend more and more time in the gym. Think about like any athlete. They don't work out for hours on end. They only work out for a certain period of time. Then they go home and they rest, they relax. When you drive your car, you don't just drive it completely to the end until you completely run out of gas. No, you drive it for a good amount, stop, rest, refuel, put some gas in the tank, and then go about it again. Don't push it too far. Go, make sure you fill up, have the day of rest, refill the gas tank, and then you go again. But at the end of the day, at the end of the road trip, you're still driving the same amount of miles, just now you run less of a risk of, you know, completely burning out in one day or in one driving trip. Hopefully that analogy works. I just want to get that point across to you. Last points you really want to drive home with this is, yeah, if you are going to be the type of person that is going to be pushing hard and want to get all your sets done, not only will you get a minimal amount of gains as a result of that, you got to take time and injury into account. I'm pretty sure most of you have jobs. Some of you are students. You got other responsibilities you got to take care of. Gym is not life. Is gym life, or do you not have life because all you do is go to the gym? Bro, go out and get a life. Don't be spending all your time in the gym. You got other things you got to be taking care of. The more time you spend doing these sets that aren't going to give you as much results as you may think, that could be more time allotted to doing other things that are more important in your life. And not only that, the risk of injury is going to increase. There's only so hard you can push yourself before you completely give out. You want to keep pressing nonstop? Bro, you're going to tear a pec eventually. A tricep is about to pop off or something. The risk of injury will increase if you keep pushing hard and hard during a fatigued state. So unless you want to blow out a pec, you want to reduce your risk of injury, how about we cut it before we start stagnating with the amount of gains and we actually get some appropriate rest. So to wrap everything up, how much is too much? I'm going to tell you what I personally do and what has worked best for me. Because at the end of the day, that's the big thing that everyone's got to take into account. Everyone's body's a little different. Everyone's going to be reacting a little differently. Some people grow muscle at different rates. Some people require different amounts of stimulus to promote growth and strength in any given muscle that they're training. What I found has worked for me, 10 to 15 good quality working sets per week, not per workout, per week. And how do I typically divide that up? I typically divide it up by 5 to 8 sets across 2 days per week. So I either do 5 to 8 sets on one day, and then I do 5 to 8 sets on another day. And at the end of the week, that will now give me my 10 to 15 sets per week. So I might do my 8 sets on Monday, okay? And I might only get 4 sets on Thursday. But usually I train each major muscle group twice per week. I make sure there's at least 1 day of rest in between those 2 days, because you do not want to work out the same muscle group 2 days in a row. You got to give it some time to rest. And the reps on one day might be a little bit more, might be a little less than the next day. But regardless, at the end of the week, they add up to 10 to 15. That's what works for me. Some people, to see more growth, their body responds well to hitting a total weekly volume of 15 to 20 sets. Some people, they can push a lot harder in one given workout. They could hit 10 to 15 on one workout, and then during the next workout, they could hit 5 to 10 more. Everyone's gonna be a little differently. Just the biggest thing I want you to take away from this is you do not need to hit everything on one day in one workout. You can go ahead and split it up across multiple days as long as you're taking the total weekly volume into account. Spread it out based on whatever availability you have. Make sure that they're all good working sets and understand the risk to reward ratio. How much gains are you really getting out of the amount of extra time and extra volume you're going to be putting yourself through? And do you really want to get injured at the end of the day? Obviously not. So there you have it, everyone. More is not always better. It's the quality of the workout that matters, not the quantity. You don't need to be spending hours on end at the gym. You can be spending less time, but make sure whatever it is that you are doing in there, make it count. Comment down below if this video was helpful. Comment down below what is your workout split? What are your thoughts on frequency? What volumes and sets do you hit? And how many exercises per workout, per week? What is your split like? Let's try to help each other out. Also, be sure to comment down below any other video suggestions you'd like to see me do, whether it be about mindset, motivation, nutrition, diets, workouts, programs, whatever it is, comment down below. I'd be more than happy to help y'all out. Be sure to subscribe not just to my channel, but my girlfriend's channel, your couple's channel, so you don't miss out on any new videos. Because remember, new videos on this channel every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday. So don't miss out. And then Instagram and TikTok, same thing. Be sure to follow me on my accounts, girlfriend's accounts, couple's accounts. I put all the links down in the description below. With that being said, I'll catch y'all next time.